And welcome to the John Peacock Coaches Show. I'm John Massoni here with head football coach for the Venice Indians, John Peacock. And Coach, we're coming off of probably the best performance of the year with a 49-13 victory over the Charlotte Tarpons this past Friday.
Yeah, we played really well. We limited our penalties, and we were able to run our offense with good tempo. The defense played well all night long, and we were actually playing a very good opponent. Charlotte is one of the top teams in Southwest Florida. I think this is maybe their third regular season loss in 4 years. So, we weren't playing a slouch.
No, I mean, they looked the part, too. I mean, they had some very big linemen on offense, and even their skill players were sort of had a bigger look to them in some way.
Yeah, it was a very good, one of the better looking Charlotte teams we've seen in a while, with the line and the quarterback and the running backs and the skill guys.
Yeah, no doubt. But like you said, all around the game, offense played fantastic this week. No turnovers on top of the limited amount of penalties we had. I think we had 2 penalties for 15 yards.
Correct.
And one was late in the game, so it really wasn't much. And I will say this. I thought the referees did a really good job. We got to commend them every once in a while. They did a really nice job. The game flowed real well. It was called right on each side. I don't think anybody complained too much about what the referees had done, which sometimes they do become part of the game. And
yeah, it makes the game a lot funner for the fans and the team, and when a lot of the referees don't have a big deal with the outcome.
Right.
And I think that was the case Friday night, where they kind of let the teams play and only called stuff that really mattered.
One downfall, I guess you would say, to the game was another lightning delay, an hour before the game started. But like you had said, we're prepared for those quick change type of situations. It seemed like we came out with a lot of energy, even after being in the locker room for a while, and then followed it up with what we haven't been doing, which is sort of a sluggish second half. We came out on fire in the second half.
Yeah, we were able to close the door right away at the start of the second half, and I thought our kids were focused on that, and we executed everything we wanted to do right on in the third quarter.
I do, absolutely. Well, to let everybody know, we're here at Bogies tonight, one of our two main places to film the show. And we're also going to honor our Peacock's Prize pupil for this week, which is Thomas Wildermuth.
Yeah, happens to be a football player.
He's a football player, yeah.
Not my pick. It was nominated by Thomas Marshall. And Thomas Wildermuth is actually our class president. He's the class president of the senior class. So he's a great person, great kid. And he's really starting to become a really good football player for us.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we also have the Bill Buck Indian of the Week, which this week is Weston Wolf. Weston had a 10-catch game for us, 84 yards, and the lone receiving touchdown of the night. And I think he has showed vast improvement from game 1 to game 3.
Yeah, Weston, he was a threat, all night long for us. We were able to look very similar to what we were able to do with Javon in the years prior. And he's getting better each week, and he's just a sophomore.
Right.
6'5", which you can't coach 6'5", so that's something that he'll always have. It's going to be, something that's going to be hard for the DBs to defend, because typically the DBs that we face are 5'10" and below, if that.
Yeah, no, like I said, and things I noticed from game 1 to game 3, catching ball with his hands a little bit more as opposed to getting ball into his body. Certain things that he can really take advantage of his length by doing those things, because then you can be standing right next to the guy, but when you're 6'5" and your arms are so long, there's really not much you can do when you're snagging that ball out of the air.
That's what I'm saying. He's always going to have that advantage no matter what. If he can learn to use his body like Javon did, and we're going to have a real weapon outside.
In our highlight package, you also see that Hayden Wolf had a fantastic start and finish to the game. I think he completed his first 10 passes.
Oh man, he was on the money. I mean, these weren't just all hitches. I mean, he threw some balls down the field. The seams, and did a great job.
Yeah, they did a really good job. So we're going to take our first commercial break here, and when we get back, we'll take a look at the highlights from the 49-13 victory from Friday night, and we'll go over the game stats a little bit and talk about our opponent the next opponent after that. So when we come back here at Bogies, it'll be the highlight package. We'll see you back here in a few minutes.
We'd like to thank the following sponsors for making this show a possibility: Bill Buck Chevrolet, Bogies of Venice, Paver Pro, and Captain Eddie's.
We'd also like to thank Neal Communities, because where you live matters, Absolute Aluminum, Sarasota Orthopedic Associates, and Frontier Communications.
As well as Suncoast Commercial Door and Hardware, Inc.
And welcome back to the John Peacock Coach's Show, and we're again at Bogey's here tonight. Beautiful evening.
Oh, it's great. We're not sweating out here. Yeah, it's been great weather.
Last couple of times. So we're outside most of the time when we do the show, and the weather's been good. It's a little cloudy right now, but it's perfect for September. You can't ask for better than this.
I mean, we're not sweating out here at all. It feels nice.
Absolutely. One thing I was going to point out also, I didn't mention earlier, Coach, was that we had a lot of rain the night before the game, Thursday night for the JV game. We had a JV game, and our grounds crew did an unbelievable job. You'll see it in the highlight package of how they got that field prepared. You would never have thought, because when I left on Thursday night from the JV game, I was like, wow, it might be pretty rough.
Danny Kozel and Tony are our field guys, and I am just amazed at how well our field dries and how well it looks even after a hurricane or whatever may come through.
And it's not like we talk about how the flat fields are crowned a certain way. Ours really hasn't been
it's flat,
in 50 years.
I don't think there's any crown to it.
No,
it just seeps down in there and dissipates. I don't know if it's because of intercoastal or what, but it drains unbelievably.
It is. I mean, so you see the field, and the night before it had a bunch of rut marks in, and then I came back 12, 14 hours later, and
gone.
It was like magic, no doubt. So we'll go to the highlights right now and see what happened on Friday night.
Defense played well all night. We got to the ball very well. Obviously, Carson Sullivan played well. Scott Shanky, linebackers. See, there's Nick Jackalone making a tackle for loss. He had a great game going against his old school. You can see he's fired up.
And you can see right there. Look at the size of those. They had some big linemen out there.
Yeah. You see, Nick almost had an interception there early on too.
Yeah, I think I announced that he had the interception. It was.
76 for their offensive lineman. 76. He's a major college recruit.
Yeah, big kid.
You see Hayden here find Sam Whitney up the seam. Great throw and catch. They're able to move the chains real quick, and we're able to start tempo on them guys right away.
Yeah, and sort of similar to what we saw a little bit from last year's team. The tempo really made a big difference in the second half.
Yeah, you see Brandon Gregory there with his first of 5 touchdowns on the night.
Yeah, Brandon had a big game, but we're kind of expecting that from Brandon these days.
Charlotte answered right away early on in the game and make it 7-7. They were able to score there on 4th down. We almost had to stop, but they got a late surge, and they made a tie game 7-7.
A little bit of that play that's been popular in college football, where you get to push a little bit in behind. So. And this is our first possession after their touchdown, so it's 7-7 at this point.
Yeah, we were able to roll pretty good after our first drive, and you see Brandon Gregory here with another nice run. Some good blocking up front. We had a good game up front, offensive line. The great thing about our offensive line, we're only going to lose one guy on our offensive line this year. So, actually, I'm sorry, 2 guys on our offensive line. We'll have 3 guys coming back.
Yeah, because our Peacock Price pupil was a senior.
Yeah. Exactly. You see, there's Weston Wolf and one of his 10 catches on the night. We talked about him earlier.
You can see him with the guy covering him. He's a good,
exactly.
Almost looks like foot taller than him, but he's definitely an advantage for him when he's playing against those type of guys.
Again, good protection, great throw, and great catch by Zach Sessa. Zach Sessa had another great night kicking. I think I don't think all of his kicks were in the end zone. Extra points were perfect, so we're getting better there. And Brandon Gregory's second touchdown there. That makes it 14-7.
And that little run right there, they like to root out on us. They go low.
Yeah, it was tough. It's tough for us.
And he hopped over. I think he was prepared for that, for that style of play.
We told the kids it's hard to simulate that in practice because we try to stay up each other's knees. But you see, I just put one of Sessa's kicks on there just to show. I mean, he was putting them way in the back of the end zone. He's got special leg.
He gets going as the game goes on, and then it goes from 5 yards deep to then it's in the past the goalpost after that.
You see, here's a sack here by
Marlon Lewis.
Yeah, Marlon put the pressure on him and was able to come back and make a sack.
Marlon's he's a high energy guy. When he gets going, he gets going. I mean, he's a revved up dude when he gets.
Yeah, and this is the second down, caused fumble, and we had a penalty with face mask on them. It was defense was getting to the ball. We have a lot of guys that play with great effort, and that always makes your defense excel well. And here's another run by Brandon Gregory. This is his 3rd touchdown of the night. It's our heavy package, and we were able to do a lot of good things on our heavy package Friday night.
When Brandon smells the goal line, he goes straight for it. Even like that run, you could have seen somebody might have cut to the left. He said, "No, I'm going to split these 2 guys and go right to the goal line."
You see, there's a nice tackle by Noah Carr. I mean, he's a tough guy back there, and great tackle. So right now we're 21-7, I believe, right?
Yes.
Again, this is a 2-minute situation.
And that's not an easy throw he just made, right?
No, not an easy catch either. You know,
Right.
see Wolf making the catch. We dropped 2 of them Friday night, but we did come up with 1, I believe.
Yes. And a fumble recovery like we saw. So
Yeah.
quarterback was athletic.
Yeah, they did a nice job. You see, that was 4th down late in the second quarter, and you see Christian George come up and make a big hit on the quarterback, and we were able to get the ball back, I think, less than a minute, and get down to the field and score.
Yeah, it was quick. 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
2-minute offense was really good.
Hayden did a good job running the offense. You see Weston. He comes up with some big catches, and you see here was a late hit out of bounds.
Yeah, you're a good couple yards. They always call it close.
Yeah, well, that
was way out.
That wasn't real close. Now there was one that happened a little later that they didn't call, what should have been called, but.
I was told by the referee up in the booth that they said they both fell down together and tripped over the down marker or something along those lines.
Yeah, that's not really what happened.
I don't think that's how it happened either.
And to see this Brandon Gregory run, he's able to get out of bounds, which is huge. We're able to get the first down out of bounds, so we're able to hold on to a timeout there at the end. And right here, you're going to see Hayden throw a fade route to his brother Weston here. Nice job. Weston going over the top. Yeah, and this is what I was talking about earlier.
Right.
You know, 6'5" versus 5'8".
Right.
You know.
It's a big advantage, and especially in a play like that. Talking to some of the coaches, I think that in our 2-minute drill, we're like 100% right now, maybe on scoring.
You see, here's where we open up the third quarter. I mean, we opened up. We saw they weren't really covering, covering down on the kickoff. So I thought, we can get a good spark here. We can get the ball back, and you'll see Brandon come here. This is his best run of the night. This is a very impressive run. Breaks a few tackles, spins off. Yep. And you see, we just had it rocking and rolling there, and that's his 4th touchdown of the night, making it 28-7.
No, actually 35.
Oh, 35. Yeah, because we had a touchdown, right? So 35-7 with 1 or 2 minutes off the clock in the third quarter.
It was 2 plays after the onside kick.
You see here, the same series, and Noah makes an interception here, and the offense came out up 35-7 right here. See Hayden, another nice throw to Weston.
In rhythm.
Yeah, Hayden did a nice job. I mean, what was his final numbers?
He was 16 out of 20.
16 out of 20. That's pretty impressive. And like I said, we weren't throwing hitches all night. We were throwing a ball down the field. Another catch by Zach Sessa there. Gets us inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, Zach makes a lot of plays in a lot of different ways for us. I mean, even on the onside kick, his athleticism pays off in that kind of
4th and 1 here. This is a big play for us. Brandon Gregory again finds the end zone, puts his foot in the ground, and makes it 42-7, and that got the clock rolling. The mercy rule in Florida is when you're up by 35 in the second half, the clock automatically rolls, doesn't stop. Defense came out, and they were able to get another stop. We're able to get some subs in, some guys that haven't had a whole lot of time playing, and they're excited to get in there, and we had a nice rally to the football.
There's Scott Schenke in the backfield again. He seems to be in the backfield quite a bit this season.
Yeah, he's getting better each week, and we can just keep progressing like that. There's Carson Sullivan,
and you can see. I mean, a little bit dejected that Charlotte is, but you saw Carson. He got her on the edge, and it was just you can see that we're really wearing him down.
Yeah, you see the 2 offense gets in. Make a nice throw there.
That's Garrett French.
Yeah, Nico made a nice throw in the backfield, and then you see Nico comes up and he makes a nice run here on counter, able to get outside. Nice job finishing the run too. If he wouldn't have stepped out of bounds there, we would have been able to get in the end zone. But then the quarter changed, and Nico was able to pound it in here for a touchdown, making it 49-7.
Yeah. And that was with the running clock, and we holding the ball. It just chewed the rest of the game up from there.
I see why they do it, but I also see how it hurts a little bit for the two defense or the two offense. You know, there's Danique Mayfield. He made plays all night. Danique actually had to get in there because someone's helmet broke, but he was all over the field Friday night. And you see, this is the last play of the game. I told this is our luck every time the two defense gets in. The last play when the buzzer's going off, they're able to score.
It was like it was barely a second left.
Yeah. So, so Friday night was a great win for us. Like I said, we're playing a very tough opponent. And Charlotte's going to be, speaking of points in the future, they're going to be a 53-point guy for us. I mean, they're going to be the max points, and then plus you get the playoff points because they're in the playoffs. So we're going to max out on that game. Yeah,
and I think Charlotte also. We were supposed to play them last year, but unfortunately Hurricane Irma came through and we couldn't play them. But that's why we scheduled them to, because they said to us, you want those. It's a rivalry game, but now it's even more important that they're a good rival because it helps us out with our playoff picture.
Fortunately, last year we ended up with the most points in our region. Now with that early loss to Vero, even though we'll get the max points for that loss, if our friends down south, if they get all the wins, we might have to be traveling south in the playoffs. But, that's a long way away, and we're just going to focus on each game.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. So 49-13 is the final score. And, again, you got to be pleased with how things are progressing right now. We've seen that improvement like you want to see. You're seeing, like, again, some of the guys that I maybe call them veterans, they've been around for the team a little bit. They're starting to show that moxie or that whatever you want to call it, that they're kind of projecting onto the younger guys. You're seeing confidence from the guys who are new to playing for Venice and younger players. So that's when you start to see how the team starts to gel. Maybe by game 5 or 6, you might even get a better a feel for where you're at. Right. But if you're looking at game 3, you got to be really, really happy.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely some huge improvements. Just take football out of it, just the mental part of it. With going from from 11 to 14 to 2 penalties. I mean, you got to be happy with that, and then that's just discipline and focus. So I felt like that was there, and that was a lot. We were a lot better for that on Friday night. And the score showed, and it showed on the field. It showed how our offense was flowing and everything else. I mean, we got one holding penalty, and the holding penalty that cost us a drive there, where we had a nice run, and I was actually blocking the back, right. And then that really cost us a little bit. And I think we were lined up offsides on defense once, right?
That was it. Yeah, he was in the neutral zone, and that was good.
Yeah, so I mean, that was what I was pleased about the most, is that part of it.
That's good. No doubt. All right, so when we come back from our next commercial break, we'll kind of go over a little bit of what we're facing this coming up Friday, which is the Lakewood Ranch Mustangs playing up in Lakewood Ranch. So once again, I always tell everybody, come on out and show that Venice support, which we are probably the best traveling fans in the area for sure. So we need you guys up there, and hopefully we won't have to worry about any lightning delays this week. I'm a bit of a weather watcher, and especially, and it looks like rain chances are a little lower on Friday night than they've been the last couple nights. But knock wood, maybe that'll be we can start at 7:30. We're not sloshing through the rain.
We were the only team in Southwest Florida that was delayed last week.
And really, it wasn't raining, but there were some wicked looking clouds around, and there was some get that lightning around, and that I get it, because it's I heard a lot of people from Venice in the old days. We never stopped, and that's a different. It's an age gone by, and you see lightning somewhere, and you just don't want to risk it. And I understand that administration does a great job making sure that's done.
I'm not going to be out there when there's lightning either.
No. I mean, it's like I'm in the press box, and I'm a little closer to that lightning, and I don't want to go out of the press box. I promise you that. Right. All right, we'll be back here in a few minutes for our next segment. See you here in a few.
We'd like to thank the following sponsors for making this show a possibility: Bill Buck Chevrolet, Bogies of Venice, Paver Pro, and Captain Eddie's.
We'd also like to thank Neo Communities, because where you live matters, Absolute Aluminum, Sarasota Orthopedic Associates, and Frontier Communications.
As well as Suncoast Commercial Door and Hardware, Inc.
And we're back here at Bogies for the third segment of our show, John Peacock Coach's Show. And Coach, we got our first district game coming up this week, Lakewood Ranch Mustangs. What can we expect from Lakewood Ranch? Well,
Lakewood Ranch, Joe Pinco's comes out with a model, and they have a score prediction, and they have us by 56 points. Obviously, I think that we're light years ahead of Lakewood Ranch right now. They have a new coach who I'm good friends with, Chris Colton, who is coming from the college ranks. He coached at Georgia Southern. We were friends at Georgia Southern. Went to school together. He's coached at Navy. He's coached at Georgia Tech. So he's installing an offense that hasn't had a whole lot of time on.
Right.
So I think they're a work in progress. Obviously, I don't think our matchup with them, I don't think they're quite ready for that. But at the same time, we're not looking at it like that. We're going to come in, we're going to focus on Venice, and we're going to try to get better as a football team of ourselves. So not focus on the score, not focus on anything like that, but just focus on building from last week and getting better.
Right. And one of the things that's sort of like you hear a lot of people say, you don't want to let up, because that's when things go a little crazy, a little haywire.
Right.
Not so much the score of the game, but injuries can happen, certain things happen.
Right.
You want to play your game, go out there and play. I said, worry about Venice, let the score do what it needs to be, and then you hopefully come out with a win like we would expect. Right. But play your game and don't hesitate.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the injuries, and that's what I tell the kids all the time. If you want to go in, into the Lakewood Ranch game and just say, oh, we're going to go in cruise control, and you're the guy that's going to end up losing this season and getting hurt. So if you don't approach that like this is one of my opportunities, I'm going to give everything I got. I'm going to prepare for this team like I've always prepared, and I'm going to get ready to play football. Then everything will go smooth. But if you go in it with the attitude of, hey, we're Venice, we're going to walk in there and win the game, you're going to have a good chance of you're setting yourself up.
So obviously you're going through your regular practice schedule. So this week might be much more of a mental challenge for practice than a physical challenge. Making sure they're practicing crisp, make sure they're focused, make sure like on Friday, be on time in the morning. Don't be too much in the locker room with the chatter and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, as coaches, we got to make sure that we're on them and that they're focused, because as a kid and as a player, you look at it and you say, oh, we're 56-point favorites. That's something mental in your head, like, oh, we're going to blow this team out. And that's not always the case.
No, because a kid, again, you're still lining up, and a lot of times they're playing Venice. They're going to try to make a mark for themselves.
Right.
There's players. I'm sure they got good players. And then we said you're installing a new offense. It's their chance to make their mark. You have a good game against Venice, you're a starter.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you start looking around, and you've seen it happen before. You're supposed to beat a team, next thing you know they're up 7-0 because you got sloppy on special teams or something like that.
Look at Vera Beach. We're favored by 17 points with Vera Beach.
Right.
End up losing that game by 22. So we can't go in with that mindset. We just got to really do a good job of paying attention to details and focusing on ourselves, and like I said, just building off last week. I mean, we had 2 penalties last week. Let's get it a little lower.
Yeah, let's go 0 penalties. Again, go 0 turnovers and have a grand. And if it does happen to go the way we don't go, then it's an opportunity for the second string guys to come in and really do their job and come in there and hopefully have a good sample for themselves to prove what they can do.
Exactly.
No doubt. Okay, we're still here at Bogies, and we want to also make sure we remind everybody that Peacock's prize pupil this week was Thomas Wildermuth.
Yep.
Sponsored by Thomas Marshall, or nominated by Thomas Marshall. And then also the Bill Buck Indian of the Week is Weston Wolf. Weston had a nice game again, 10 catches, 84 yards, and a touchdown. And he'll be everybody will be get the recognition at the next
3 weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll have that next home game. We'll have 3 people getting the prize pupil, and then we'll also have 3 Indian of the Weeks.
Yeah, no doubt. So that'll be a nice little crowded.
Or actually, we will have 2 Indian of the Weeks, because we don't play one of them.
Okay, that's right.
But we will have 3 prize people.
Yeah, that's great. And it's fun to have all that stuff. We really have a good time with the faculty who gets to nominate.
Right.
And the kids are out there, and it's probably it's got to be a cool thing to walk out at 50-yard line and get your name announced and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, everyone's buying into it on campus. It's a great deal.
No doubt. All right, we'll be back here in a few minutes for our last segment. See you here in a few.
We'd like to thank the following sponsors for making this show a possibility: Bill Buck Chevrolet, Bogies of Venice, Paver Pro, and Captain Eddie's.
We'd also like to thank Neo Communities, because where you live matters, Absolute Aluminum, Sarasota Orthopedic Associates, and Frontier Communications.
As well as Suncoast Commercial Door and Hardware Inc.
And welcome back to Bogies and the John Peacock Coaches Show for our final segment of the evening. And Coach, just to kind of recap what we talked about a little earlier, 49-13 win against Charlotte, Lakewood Ranch coming up, first district game. And maybe we should emphasize the district a little bit too, because we can't take lightly, no matter what it is, how important the district games are. That's the real real bridge to the
Exactly.
playoffs.
Exactly. So in our district right now, we have a 1-2 or 2-1 Port Charlotte, or not Port Charlotte, Palmetto team.
Right.
Who faces Braden River, who was also 2-1 in their overall record. It's everybody's first district game this week. And Venice, who was 2-1, faces 0-3 Lakewood Ranch, and we have Sarasota, who is 0-3, facing a 1-2 Northport.
Yes, I think they won their first game, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So after Friday night, obviously you're gonna see teams. It's a very important game, obviously, between Palmetto and Braden River. Because right now everyone looks at our district as Venice, Braden River, Palmetto, and then you have Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, and Northwood.
Yeah.
So it's we have three teams at the top and three other teams kind of at the bottom. Not that they're bad teams, again, it's just the way that history has shown and the kind of where they are in their programs.
Well, and based on last year, we had 3 teams make the playoffs last year.
That's what I'm saying. It was Venice, Braden River, and Palmetto.
Because now the old way of the runner-up just gets in. That's not the case anymore. That's the point system.
And it wasn't even close for the points. So how the region works is you have 8 teams that make it, 4 automatically for the each district champ.
Correct.
And then you have 4 at large based off points. Well, Braden River had the second most points behind us.
Right.
But they were a runner-up. So they went into the 5 seed, with the second most points.
Yeah.
And then you had Palmetto at the 6th seed, who had the 3rd most points in the whole region.
In the region, we had the three top-ranked teams.
And I see that happening again this year. I see 3 teams getting in from our district. Sure. I see that happen again. Now, where they place, I don't know, but I do see 3 teams getting in again.
Yeah, because and that's, I guess, from looking at it from the perspective of the district or of the playoffs, I kind of like it better than it was before, because you don't get cheated in some way. You're a good team. You're playing in the top-heavy district. You have a good chance of making it.
And that was happening in the Palmetto for 3 years.
Absolutely.
Where they were clearly one of the top 8 teams in the region that never made the playoffs because it was us and Braden River as region our district champion runner-up.
Got to be very frustrating, Coach Marino up there. So, okay, Friday night, Lakewood Ranch. We play the Mustangs in our first district game. So we want everybody to come out and support the Indians like you always do. It's an easy drive. It's up 75, a couple turns here and there. So you're not a long way to go, too. So come on out and support the Indians. We really do appreciate when we get our visiting team support.
The kids love it. The kids look forward to it, and we appreciate the support as well.
No doubt. And I want to recap also Peacock's prize pupil, Thomas Wildermuth, nominated by Thomas Marshall. The Bill Buck Indian of the Week, which was Weston Wolf. And we also want to talk about another little thing about Bill Buck is also involved, which is a raffle that they're involved with.
Right, they're doing a raffle for first prize is either a Silverado or a Camaro, your choice. Second prize is a smart TV. Correct. I think it's like a $5,000 value, the smart TV. And then the third prize is a trip, like a 3-day or 4-day trip. And we'll be selling the raffle tickets at our shows. So next week we'll be at
Captain Eddie's next week. And then Bogus the week after that, and back and forth. So we'll kind of keep you posted. We always say where we're going to be.
And we're there from 6 o'clock till about 7:30, 7:45, where you can come buy raffle tickets. So next week at Captain Eddie's, and we're back at Bogies, and then we're back at Captain Eddie's. So we're just kind of back and forth. We'll remind you each week where we're at, and if you want to come out and get one of those raffle tickets.
And the raffle ticket, obviously, the proceeds go to the Venice Touchdown Club.
Right.
And so it's something for the team and the kids, and
the great chance. Your odds of winning are much better than winning the lottery.
They're only selling a certain amount of tickets. I believe it's 850 of them.
850 tickets. Yep. And there's three first place prizes. And again, the car value is it's basically you don't have to pay taxes on it either.
Yeah, it's not the watered down version. It's the souped up version of the Camaro and the Silverado. So no doubt we've had them at a couple of our pre-season events where they brought them in, and they're very nice vehicles. So it's worth $100 entry to see if it's worth it, and then I think people are going to definitely enjoy that. So all right, Coach. Well, another show here wrapped up at Bogies, and we'll be back again at Captain Eddie's next week, so come out and join us and maybe buy a raffle ticket from us or something along those lines. And hopefully we'll come back with a victory over Lakewood Ranch.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. All right, for Coach Peacock, I'm John Massoni. We'll see you here next time on the Coach John Peacock Show.